Well, the task of the day is to get this last seal on my transaxle and then tighten everything down as far as the back end. First thing I did today was to put on my throttle cable Bowden tube, and that required basically reaming out the front of this so that I could kind of hammer it over top of that metal pipe, and then I put this seal on there and got that lip tucked in, so this is good. Then what I did is I noticed inside here that there was all kinds of rust, and so what I did is I vacuumed it out. There was just all kinds of just junk in here, and while I have this detached, I sprayed rust reformer in there as best I could just to stave that off. Again, nobody's ever going to see that, and it won't matter. So now what I'm doing is I need to be able to pull this transaxle back out, and so I started detaching these bolts. I need to pull it like 2 inches back out. These are detached, so I need to pull this. I need to detach the front transmission mount. I detached these so that I wouldn't damage my hard lines here, hard brake lines, and I'm gonna pull this back by about 2 inches, and then I'm going to put this seal on there. I found the orientation, which it goes like this, and it doesn't go into the circle, it just butts up against it. And so let's see if I can get that done. Okay, I got these off here, disconnected the brakes. The emergency brakes are the ones that I'm a little worried about. They're a little bit tauter than I wanted. And you look here. So I disconnected the clutch cable so that I could, and I'm trying to back this out so that I can, let's see if I can back this out just a little bit more, so I can get this seal on there. It's okay, I think I can do it. Okay, there we go. So if you look here, I've got this up. Now, what I've got to do is, let's see if I can set this up on my welder. All right, so I've got to get the seal without damaging anything. I just want the seal to go on like this. And then I got to put the thing back in. So let's see if that's visible from here. So this seal, let's see, pull this up, try not to damage this brake line. Seal goes like this. And it goes just like that. Perfect. So take a look here. Goes just like that. And that is going to butt up against that thing there. Let's see if I can do this without screwing anything up. Okay, so I'm going to slide this thing in, which means this is the trick, because I've got the torsion arms here. This has got to go in. The torsion arms are. And my I lowered this chassis just a little bit, so plus it's shifted a little bit to the side. And definitely, the way I'm doing this is questionable. Okay, that's in on the one side. And see if I can do this on the other side. Yep, it's in on the other side. Now I just have to push the transaxle in onto the front mount. So lift that up. Bowden tube on This thing has to go in. This is what happens when you do stuff in the wrong order. You wind up having to do stuff like this. Okay. That is in there. In there. Let's see if I can push it. Okay, that's good. Bowden tube needs to lock on. Okay, that's in there. And so I think first step. Okay, great. So this seal is on there. That looks good. Bowden tube for the clutch is on there. That looks good. Right to here. I'm going to reattach that. I have to reattach the torsion arms and the brakes, but the main thing also, so down here, the strap, it can't connect to this one because that has rubber. It connects to this one here, which goes to the frame. So I'll have to, what I'm going to do is fully tighten down the 15 nuts on the front of the transaxle, and then I'm going to undo this one and put the put that ground strap on there. Then I can tighten down these guys here, and that'll have my transaxle fully in place. Then I'll reassemble my torsion arms, snubbers on the front bolt, and then this whole thing I can put my struts back on, etc. So let's see if I can get that. Okay, so I'm under. Now I'm just tightening the front transaxle mount with these two bolts here, or nuts. These are 15s. Box wrench that with a little elevated thing seems to work best here. So let's just get a nice good torque down on this. Okay, that one's good. That one's good. Okay, so now I have to put my ground strap onto this one. Let's see. Ground strap go onto this one or this one? Because the hole doesn't seem big enough to go on this one, but yet this one seems to be the one that connects to the frame. So I think what I'm going to do is just bore this out a little bit, and I'm going to put it on this one. All right, so to fit on this bolt here, I just have a round file. I'm just going through this hole here and just making it big enough to be able to slip over that bolt size. So with that, I believe that's gonna fit just fine over there. Let's see, right there. So I have to get this 17 bolt off, and then I'm gonna. All right, finally got a small ratchet wrench that would fit in between that and that, so I can actually tighten this down. Well, it's twisting my ground strap, but should be fine. So, looks like this. Ground strap got twisted, but that's only because I tightened it down. So let's see how this one is here. Just comparison. Yeah, that one's already tight. So all these are tight. Now I should. Let's see how these line up here. On the, like these holes don't quite line up, so you know, I'll see what happens. I think there's a little wiggle room in how these things attach, or I can remove those big bolts. See what I can do just to get this transaxle fully in place. Okay, so I tightened down these guys again. I tightened down these outside ones for the mounts. I tightened down these inside ones. So now my transaxle is fully in place. So I can, let's see, I can just tighten down the clutch just back to where it was. So that's probably pretty good right there. I line up the little thingy there. So now I'm gonna reassemble the these guys here, which are the these torsion arms, and or whatever you call them, this rear torsion plates, and then I will reconnect these brakes, tighten down the struts, and I will connect my gear shift lever, the linkage there. Okay, so right now I've got these whatever torsion arms back, reassembled to the tubes, the snubbers. I've got my struts now torqued down with all the proper washers. My brake lines back reassembled here. Same on this side. Brake lines, struts, snubber with the torsion arms. So this is all good. This is all assembled. Clutch cable, Bowden tubes for both. The seals are in place, so now what I have to do is reconnect my gear shift. Let's see if I can just up here and just take a look. So this thing has to slide onto here. Probably, let's see if I push it. Not sure how far in this guy is. I'll just take this thing out. So let's see if I can get this thing to slide on there. Oh yeah, once I do that, let's see, I'll pull this thing out and hold it. Well, I actually need to hold that with something, like some pliers. Maybe I got some needle nose. See if I can get the holes to line up here. So I'll hold this with the needle nose, I'll press it up. Alright, that's pretty close. So if I look at that, let me grab this light. If I look at this, I have the hole in there lining up. So what I have to do is torque down my little bolts and then put the wire through. So I'll go ahead and do that. I have to go grab the wire from the drawer here real quick. Hang on. All right, so what I've been using here is galvanized steel wire, 19 gauge. First I have to just tighten this down. So this should be going perfectly into that little indentation. And then I just make it nice and snug. Now let's just check gear shift. First, second, third, fourth, reverse. Okay, this looks good. This, you know, I could put in a new one of these. Not sure if I mean, this one, the rubber is definitely a little messed up, but I think for now, I don't know if I have one of those handy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. But I have to get this steel wire, so we're gonna get enough to loop it around. So go through and loop this around. And once it's looped around, I'm gonna twist. Pretty good and not gonna come out. So I will just cut this. And this is what it looks like. So I can maybe just bend this down a little bit so that it's out of the way, or up. Okay. So that's a little loose. I maybe should have made that a little more snug, but it's certainly not gonna. That's just a safety feature. All right. So now that that's in place, I can take off this mini screw and put back my plate. This guy here. Align the little hole there. And I just need a Phillips head screwdriver to put this guy in. Let's see. Just grab something like that. And let's just tighten this guy down. All right, so that's in place. So I now have pretty much this entire back end completed. Emergency brakes, normal brakes, boots, snubbers. Everything here is looking pretty good. Struts. So, and the shifter, let's just try that out real quick. So, what have I got? This was a clutch cable little boot that I realized is not used except for 68 and later. So that I don't need. And then I have two heater cable little rubber pieces, which I guess go into the tubes here. So I could, take these things off and put these on there. But overall, I'm very happy to basically have this transaxle in place. Next step is today my transaxle oil shows up in the mail, so I'm gonna tighten down my 2 bottom ones of these guys, and then I'll open this one, fill this one with transaxle oil, and go from there.